Well, hello, good people and Eagle and 49er fans. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So here we are. We are on the precipice of getting a historic deal done and a word out or a rumor being done. See, here's what's happening. We are typically, if you go to the store, you go buy some sausage, okay? And you get the sausage because we all love some sausage, okay? And, I love the hot and spicy one or the sage sausage, okay? It's just incredible. You get some pancakes to go with that, and you get some of that real Vermont syrup. Like you drive up to Vermont and you get it like it just came out the sugar house, and it's great. Some scrambled eggs and things, man. You talk about eating and get some bacon to go with it too. But here's the thing: you don't really want to know how the sausage is made. If you knew how the sausage was made and what went into it, you probably wouldn't want sausage, okay? And unfortunately, when it comes to Cowboys negotiations and things, you're seeing how the sausage is made. So we've seen, kind of glimpses of proposed contracts. We've seen a 5-year, $205 million deal, and so on. So, okay, so Micah gets his $200 million and he's the highest paid, and it gives the Cowboys some flexibility because there's more time that they can stretch it out. That's actually more beneficial for the team. And word coming out is that Micah Parsons is saying, no, I don't want a long term. I don't want a deal that long. Like when they did with Tyron Smith, they did his for like 8 or 9 years. At the time, it was like, how are you going to pay a guy $97 million? Yeah, because it was like 8 years, and it was chump change towards the end of it. Micah recognizes that that's not necessarily a good thing. When you think that in 2015, the highest paid quarterback was Aaron Rodgers at $22 million, and now at 60, you understand that you're leaving a whole lot of money on the table. And this is not to say that, Micah Parsons is being greedy by any stretch of the imagination, but, you have a certain set of skills that very few people on the planet have, and you want to maximize what you get. Now, I have not listened to this. This is Colin Cowherd, okay, of course, the Cowboy hater, of course. Dak Prescott, is not like Carson Wentz, the Maserati, okay? He's the Corvette. Evidently, I'd rather have the Corvette. He's gone through and said that Schottenheimer will be one and done. And so now we've got the historic contract. So I want to listen to what he has to say. Let's listen to him.
Micah Parsons is reportedly going to sign a historic contract.
Historic.
In coming weeks. Once again, and I like Micah Parsons. But he is a bit of a splash player, and he was in college. He'll make highlight plays. He'll beat really bad corners. I mean, he's got 52.5 sacks in his career. 10.5 are against Washington. I think 5.5 are against Carolina. 4.5 are against the Giants. He's got a big chunk of his sacks on 3 awful teams. Until Washington hit on Jaden Daniels.
Hang on. Hold it. Stop. See, this is where he's being an asshole. You do realize that the Cowboys play Carolina every year. So you get more opportunities at it. The same thing with the Giants. So he's been in the league 4 years. He's played against the Giants 8 times. He's played against the Commanders 8 times. It would seem to be that if you play a team a lot more, you have more opportunities to get sacks, you're going to get more. But be that as it may, go ahead.
So this is like Austin Reeves. I am willing to pay A-plus money for A-plus players. There's a lot of great defensive players in this league. But I think the really smart organizations overwhelmingly stay young and cheap on defense. Chiefs and the Rams. Except unless you have an elite defensive lineman. There are 5 currently. This is it. 5 current defensive players. I just pay whatever it takes. Whatever the market bears.
FYI, Micah Parsons has had 5 sacks against the Eagles, too. So as you're going through there and talking about this, make sure you put the shit out there correctly.
Myles Garrett, I'm paying whatever it takes. Jared Verse, you don't have to pay him for a couple years. Folks, he's the closest thing I've seen to Lawrence Taylor on the edge. Potentially. Like this kid, he was a rookie. Wait until this year. Max Crosby, Patrick Surtain, and Chris Jones. Chris Jones, an interior defensive lineman. He may not play for another 4 years. I'd pay him. And you can say, oh, what about Hendrickson with the Bengals?
Wow.
So against the run. He's 30 years old. So he's also on the edge. The Aaron Donalds and the Chris Jones that go inside, it's
amazing.
Not a lot of those on the planet. So, and there's like Will Anderson of Houston.
Okay, enough of that. It's making me sick. All right, how about we listen to somebody who's actually real and genuine?
It seems to me that if I'm Hendrickson, I'm waiting. Like now it's to my benefit to have midnight strike later because I want Watt and Micah to sign first. You know what I mean? Like and the same thing is, I guess, Micah seems to be like, we saw him at Fanatics Fest too. He's just like going about his business of being Micah Parsons in the world. He knows it's coming.
He told me, don't give up. He goes,
is that what he said to you?
He literally said, it's our year.
So, Tom, there's some information for you. Don't give up is what he told a fellow Cowboy fan. You know what I mean? Like, to me, Jerry Jones's clock ticks in a way that, midnight is going to eventually strike. Just question is what it is in Jerry's head. I want Watt and I want Micah to sign before I do now. That's what I would be like if I'm Trey Hendrickson. Tom.
Mike is in a little different category because he's younger, because it's a second contract player in terms of the risk factors, the risk of not just injury, but
that's
also
true. That's true. But I'm Trey Hendrickson. I'm on a team that desperately needs my services. Shamar Stewart, who I'd love to,
and the Cowboys don't.
Well, on what the fix is there to get this rookie edge rusher in, because they have to. This team needs me. It doesn't matter that I'm older than Micah. I still do the same job as Micah. And as far as I'm concerned, I do it maybe even better than Micah. It doesn't matter that I'm older, which just makes it seem for me I get my money. Like now, because I know I might not get it again. This may be my last bite at the apple with the leverage that I've got. So to me, I would stick and stay if I were him for as long as I can. And the Bengals could potentially, oblige him by waiting also. I'm just throwing that out there,
Well, okay, let's separate each of these because there's a few different situations. With Micah, part of the reason that he can be so cool and calm about the situation, including when he's talking with TJ, is the fact that by Micah's own words, he and Jerry Jones had essentially a handshake agreement on a deal months ago. Micah knows exactly what the type of contract is that he's going to be getting. If anything, he's going to end up getting more than what he would have gotten had they finalized the deal back in March.
Right.
Part of the thing with the Cowboys has always been Jerry Jones is a believer in doing long-term deals. There was a time that doing 6-year extensions, 5-year extensions, that was commonplace in the NFL. You look across the league in free agency this year, I believe there's only one 5-year deal done in the entire league, and that was Will Fry's, his deal with the Vikings. Everything is trending towards shorter term deals, higher percentages guaranteed, and not having those tail type years. The Cowboys, their history has been you do longer deals, 6-year extensions, if not longer in the case of a guy like Tyron Smith, but you do strong cash flow up front, and then there's team friendly back years on those deals where you end up having somebody at a rate that you can sustain for a long time. With Micah, my sense would be it's not even about the money, because if they had a handshake agreement, the money's already in line. Now this is about, does Micah, who I believe is 25 or 26 right now, does he want to be under contract all the way out until his mid-30s, or does he want to get another bite at the apple around 29 or 30, which is where you see, TJ Watt and Trey Hendrickson coming back here. So that one should be able to get done, but it may require the Cowboys to do something that they've shown in some other recent years and deals that they've been willing to do. They did it with Dak. They did it with CeeDee Lamb. Say, hey, all right, we know what we wanted to do historically. But
so there you have it. The potential roadblock, wanting to get another piece of the pie. We'll find out what happens. And again, we're just seeing the sausage made. Most teams, they don't let you see the sausage. They just come through and say, hey, here you go, breakfast of champions. I'm Mark Holmes, and don't forget to tune in tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, for more of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Peace out.